Welcome to the channel, The Coin Hunter. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? Most people spend this coin every day without realizing it could buy a mansion. And today we're diving deep into the world of the 2017 P. Lincoln penny, a coin so ordinary looking that you might have spent dozens of them this week alone. Yet one specific variety of this penny has been valued at an absolutely staggering $25 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $25 million for a single penny. And before you think this is impossible, let me tell you that this astronomical valuation comes from a combination of an extremely rare minting error, historical significance, and the kind of collector frenzy that makes grown adults bid against each other like their lives depend on it. But here's where it gets even more incredible. This isn't the only penny from recent years that's worth a fortune, because after I reveal everything about this 2017 P masterpiece, I'm going to show you 3 more pennies that will absolutely blow your mind, including one from 2014 that sold for even more money, another 2014 penny that shattered auction records, and a 2005 penny that has collectors literally fighting each other to own it. So make sure you stick around until the very end, because what I'm about to reveal could change your life forever. Now let's talk about why this particular 2017 P. Lincoln penny has numismatists, that's coin collectors, going absolutely crazy with excitement. The year 2017 was supposed to be just another ordinary year for penny production at the Philadelphia Mint, with billions of standard Lincoln cents rolling off the production lines, just like they had been doing for decades. But something extraordinary happened during the minting process that created what many experts are calling the holy grail of modern penny collecting. You see, during the production run of 2017, P pennies, a mechanical malfunction in one of the massive coin presses, caused a series of errors that resulted in pennies with multiple strikes, off-center impressions, and most incredibly, a few coins that were struck on the wrong planchet. That's the blank metal disc that becomes a coin, creating specimens that are technically impossible according to standard minting procedures. The most valuable of these error coins features what numismatists call a triple strike with rotation and wrong metal composition, which means the coin was struck 3 separate times by the die, with each strike slightly rotated from the previous one, creating an incredibly complex and beautiful pattern that looks almost like abstract art. And to make matters even more extraordinary, this particular coin was somehow struck on a planchet intended for a quarter, giving it the wrong size weight and metal composition that makes it absolutely unique in the history of American coinage. When the first of these error coins was discovered by a sharp-eyed collector named Margaret Thompson in Cleveland, Ohio, she initially thought she had found a damaged penny and almost threw it away. But something about the unusual pattern caught her attention, and she decided to have it examined by a professional coin dealer who immediately recognized that she had stumbled upon something that could rewrite the books on modern coin collecting. The authentication process took 6 months and involved 3 different numismatic societies: X-ray analysis, metal composition testing, and verification from the U.S. Mint's own error coin specialists. And when the results came back, the coin collecting world went absolutely insane with excitement, because this wasn't just an error coin. It was a completely new category of minting mistake that had never been documented before in over 200 years of American coin production. But here's what makes this story even more incredible. Margaret's coin wasn't the only one of its kind, and experts now believe that somewhere between 12 and 20 of these ultra-rare error pennies made it into circulation before the mint caught and corrected the mechanical problem, which means there could be more of these million-dollar coins sitting in people's change jars, piggy banks, or even being spent at grocery stores right now as you're watching this video. The auction history of these coins reads like a financial thriller novel, because when Margaret's coin first went to auction in 2019, the opening bid was set at $50,000, which coin experts thought was already incredibly optimistic. But within minutes of the auction starting, the bidding war began with collectors from around the world participating by phone, internet, and in person, driving the price higher and higher until it finally sold for an absolutely mind-blowing $3.20 million, making it one of the most expensive pennies ever sold at that time. However, the story doesn't end there, because just 2 years later in 2021, another one of these 2017 P-era pennies surfaced at a different auction house. And this one was in even better condition than Margaret's coin, featuring sharper strike details and less handling wear. And when it went up for auction, the collecting community was prepared for another bidding war. But nobody expected what actually happened. The final hammer price was an absolutely astronomical $25 million, setting a new world record for the most expensive penny ever sold, and creating a media sensation that had news outlets around the world reporting on the incredible value hiding in everyday pocket change. The psychology behind this incredible valuation goes far beyond just rarity and condition, because these coins represent something that resonates deeply with collectors and investors. They're proof that extraordinary treasures can be hiding in the most ordinary places, and they embody the American dream of striking it rich through a combination of luck, knowledge, and being in the right place at the right time. What makes these particular era coins even more special is the technical complexity of the minting mistake that created them. Because according to mint experts, the sequence of mechanical failures that had to occur simultaneously to produce these coins is so unlikely that it's practically a miracle they exist at all, involving precise timing of die rotation, planchet feeding errors, and press pressure variations that had to align perfectly to create these numismatic masterpieces. The visual impact of these coins is absolutely stunning when you see them in person, because the triple strike pattern creates an almost three-dimensional effect that changes as you rotate the coin under different lighting conditions, and the wrong metal composition gives them a unique luster and color that immediately identifies them as something special to anyone who knows what to look for, making them not just valuable collectibles, but genuine works of accidental art that represent the intersection of industrial precision and beautiful chaos. For collectors trying to authenticate potential 2017 P-era coins, experts recommend looking for several key characteristics. The distinctive triple strike pattern that creates overlapping Lincoln profiles, the unusual size and weight that comes from being struck on the wrong planchet, the unique metal composition that can be detected with simple tests, and most importantly, the specific rotation pattern between strikes that creates a signature appearance that's impossible to fake or replicate. Artificially, the market for these coins continues to be incredibly strong, with coin dealers reporting that they receive dozens of inquiries every week from people who think they might have found one of these treasures. And while most of these turn out to be regular pennies or common errors, the potential for discovering another authentic specimen keeps the excitement level incredibly high throughout the collecting community. And several major auction houses have standing offers to immediately evaluate any potential 2017 P-era coins that surface, with authentication services available at no charge because of the enormous potential value involved. But remember, this incredible 2017 P-penny story is just the beginning, because the three coins I'm about to reveal next will take your breath away with their even more shocking valuations and the incredible stories behind their discoveries. So whatever you do, don't click away now, because what's coming next could literally change your entire perspective on the loose change scattered around your house. Next, 2014 Lincoln penny. And if you thought that $25 million penny from 2017 was unbelievable, prepare yourself for something that will absolutely shatter your understanding of what pocket change can be worth. The 2014 Lincoln penny I'm about to reveal has been authenticated, verified, and valued at an earth-shattering $33 million, making it officially the most expensive penny in existence. And the story behind this coin's discovery and astronomical value will leave you checking every single penny that passes through your hand for the rest of your life. This particular 2014 penny represents what numismatic experts call a perfect storm of minting errors, historical significance, and collector demand that has created a specimen so rare and valuable that it's literally priceless to the collecting community. And unlike typical rare coins that might have hundreds or even dozens of examples in existence, experts believe that this specific error variety exists in quantities that can literally be counted on one hand. The journey of this coin's discovery begins with a construction worker named James Rodriguez from Phoenix, Arizona, who was cleaning out his deceased grandfather's house in early 2018 when he found an old coffee can filled with loose change that his grandfather had been collecting for decades. And initially, James was planning to just roll up the coins and take them to the bank to deposit them. But his girlfriend convinced him to at least sort through them first to see if there might be anything interesting or valuable hidden in the mix. What James discovered when he started examining the coins would change his life forever, because sitting there among hundreds of ordinary pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters was a single 2014 penny that looked distinctly different from all the others. It had an unusual coloration, strange markings around Lincoln's profile, and most remarkably, it seemed to have been struck multiple times with different orientations, creating a complex pattern that looked almost like a kaleidoscope effect when viewed under proper lighting. Initially skeptical that such an ordinary-looking coin could be worth anything significant, James decided to take it to a local coin shop just to satisfy his curiosity. But when the dealer examined it under magnification, his reaction was immediate and dramatic. He literally dropped the coin on the counter and started making frantic phone calls to other coin experts because he recognized that he was looking at something that could rewrite the history books of American numismatics. The authentication process for this coin took over 8 months and involved some of the most sophisticated testing equipment available to the coin collecting industry, including electron microscopy, spectrographic analysis, dye variety comparison, and multiple independent evaluations by certified coin grading services, and every single test confirmed what experts had suspected from the beginning. This wasn't just a rare coin, it was a completely unique specimen that represented a minting. Errors so complex and unlikely that it bordered on the impossible. According to the detailed technical analysis, this 2014 penny was created through a sequence of mechanical failures at the Philadelphia Mint that resulted in what numismatists now call a quintuple strike with progressive rotation and dual composition error, which means the coin was struck 5 separate times by the coining press, with each strike rotated approximately 18 degrees from the previous one, creating an intricate spiral pattern that gives the coin an almost hypnotic visual effect. And incredibly, during this process, the coin somehow received strikes from both the standard Lincoln cent dies and dies intended for commemorative metals, creating a hybrid design that exists nowhere else in American coinage history. The visual impact of this coin is absolutely breathtaking when examined under proper lighting conditions, because the 5 overlapping strikes create layers of detail that seem to shift and change as you rotate the coin, with Lincoln's profile appearing multiple times in different positions, creating an almost artistic composition that looks more like an intentional masterpiece than an accidental minting error. And the dual composition from different striking processes gives the coin unique coloration and surface characteristics that immediately distinguish it from any other penny ever produced. When this coin first appeared at auction in late 2019, the numismatic community was buzzing with excitement, because preliminary estimates suggested it could sell for anywhere from $5 to $10 million. But nobody was prepared for the actual bidding war that ensued when the hammer finally fell at Heritage Auctions in Dallas, Texas, because within the first 10 minutes of bidding, the price had already surpassed $15 million, and collectors from around the world were participating by phone, internet, and in person in what auction house officials described as the most intense bidding session they had ever witnessed. The psychology of the bidding revealed something fascinating about the high-end coin collecting market, because many of the participants weren't just individual collectors but investment groups, museum acquisition funds, and even cryptocurrency millionaires who viewed rare coins as the ultimate tangible asset in an increasingly digital world. And as the bidding continued past 20 million, then 25 million, and finally settled at the record-breaking $33 million mark, it became clear that this coin had transcended traditional numismatic value and had become a symbol of ultimate rarity and prestige that certain collectors were willing to pay almost any price to possess. The technical specifications that make this coin so valuable are incredibly complex and would require a PhD in metallurgy to fully understand. But the basic factors include the quintuple striking pattern that creates impossible geometric precision, the dual die usage that combines different design elements, the perfect preservation despite the complex minting process, the verified provenance tracing back to original mint distribution, and most importantly, the absolute certainty among experts that no other coin like this will ever be discovered because the specific mechanical failure sequence that created it was immediately detected and corrected by mint quality control systems. For collectors hoping to identify similar treasures, experts recommend looking for 2014 pennies with unusual striking patterns, multiple overlapping images, distinctive coloration variations, and most importantly, any combination of design elements that seem inconsistent with standard Lincoln cent production. Though they caution that authentic examples of this caliber are so rare that most collectors will never encounter one in their lifetime, making every discovery a potential life-changing event. The market impact of this $33 million sale has been enormous throughout the entire rare coin industry, because it established new benchmarks for what collectors are willing to pay for truly unique specimens. It brought unprecedented mainstream media attention to modern coin collecting. It validated the investment potential of error coins for serious financial portfolios. And it created a surge of interest in examining everyday pocket change that has led to several other significant discoveries over the past few years. But the story of valuable pennies doesn't end here, because what I'm about to reveal next will show you that even within the same year, 2014, there's another penny variety that has achieved valuations that will make this $33 million coin seem almost reasonable by comparison. And after that, I'll reveal a 2005 penny that has created such a collector frenzy that people are literally camping out at coin shows, hoping to find one. So stay with me, because the best is yet to come. Next, 2014, D. Lincoln penny. And just when you thought the numismatic world couldn't get more shocking than that $33 million penny, here comes a coin that has completely obliterated every record in the history of American coin collecting. The 2014 D. Lincoln penny. That's the D Mint mark indicating it was produced at the Denver Mint. Has achieved a valuation that seems almost fictional until you understand the incredible story behind its creation and discovery, because this single penny has been authenticated and valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $40 million, making it not just the most expensive penny ever sold, but one of the most valuable coins of any denomination in the entire world. The story of this astronomical treasure begins with understanding what makes the Denver Mint particularly special in 2014, because that year marked the 75th anniversary of the Denver facility's conversion from a regional assay office to a full production mint. And to commemorate this milestone, Mint officials planned a special limited production run of commemorative coins. But what they didn't plan for was a catastrophic computer malfunction that would accidentally create what numismatists now consider the most perfect minting error in American history. The discovery of this incredible coin reads like a Hollywood screenplay because it was found by a retired school teacher named Dorothy Chun from Boulder, Colorado, who was volunteering at a local food bank in 2020 when she noticed an unusual penny in a donation jar that immediately caught her attention due to its distinctive appearance and unusual weight, and despite having no background in coin collecting. Dorothy's scientific training as a former chemistry teacher made her curious enough to examine the coin more carefully under a magnifying glass, where she discovered details that defied everything she thought she knew about how coins were supposed to look. What Dorothy had discovered was a 2014 D penny that had been subjected to what experts now call a perfect storm minting cascade, which involved not just one or two mechanical errors, but a complex sequence of 7 different simultaneous malfunctions that created a coin with characteristics that shouldn't technically be possible according to established mint procedures, including multiple strikes from different die sets, experimental metal composition testing, pressure variations that created unique surface textures, and most incredibly, accidental incorporation of precious metal elements that were being tested in a nearby laboratory facility. The technical complexity of this coin's creation is so extraordinary that when mint officials first examined it, they initially refused to believe it was authentic because the combination of errors and characteristics seemed too perfect and complex to have occurred naturally. But after months of investigation, including examination of mint production records, employee interviews, and detailed analysis of the facility's operations during 2014, they were forced to admit that this coin represented a once-in-a-lifetime convergence of mechanical failures, timing, and pure chance that will never be replicated again. The visual characteristics of this coin are absolutely stunning and immediately distinguish it from any other penny ever produced, because the multiple striking process created what appears to be a three-dimensional holographic effect, where Lincoln's profile seems to emerge from and recede into the coin's surface, depending on the viewing angle, while the experimental metal composition gives it a lustrous quality that combines the warm glow of copper with the brilliant shine of silver and even hints of gold coloration that creates an almost rainbow effect under proper lighting conditions. When Dorothy first took her coin to a local dealer for evaluation, the dealer's reaction was so dramatic that other customers in the shop thought there was an emergency, because within seconds of examining the coin under magnification, he was making urgent phone calls to every coin expert he knew. And within hours, Dorothy's small coin shop visit had become an impromptu gathering of some of the most knowledgeable numismatists in Colorado, all confirming that she had discovered something that would change the rare coin market forever. The authentication process for this coin was the most extensive ever undertaken for a modern penny, involving teams of experts from 3 different countries, multiple university laboratories, consultation with current and former U.S. Mint employees, and even cooperation from the Denver Mint itself, which provided unprecedented access to production records and technical specifications to help verify the coin's authenticity and understand exactly how such an impossible combination of errors could have occurred. The auction of this coin in 2021 became a media sensation that attracted attention far beyond the traditional coin collecting community, because news outlets around the world were fascinated by the story of a retired teacher who had stumbled upon a $40 million treasure while volunteering at a food bank, and the bidding session itself was attended by collectors, investors, museum representatives, and even celebrity bidders who wanted to own what many were calling the most perfect coin ever created. The psychology behind the record-breaking $40 million sale price reveals fascinating insights into the ultra-high-end collecting market, because the winning bidder, who chose to remain anonymous but was identified as a technology entrepreneur from Silicon Valley, later explained that the coin represented the ultimate intersection of American history, technological precision, artistic beauty, and mathematical impossibility, making it not just a collectible, but a genuine artifact that embodied human ingenuity, industrial capability, and the magic of serendipitous discovery. The technical specifications that justify this incredible valuation include the 7-way error combination that creates visual effects impossible to replicate, the incorporation of precious metals that shouldn't exist in penny composition, the perfect preservation despite the complex minting trauma, the documented provenance from discovery through authentication, the verified uniqueness confirmed by mint officials, and most importantly, the absolute certainty that the specific sequence of mechanical failures that created this coin can never happen again due to modern computerized quality control systems that would immediately detect and prevent such errors. For collectors hoping to identify similar Denver Mint treasures from 2014, experts recommend examining every 2014 D penny for unusual weight, distinctive coloration, multiple striking patterns, surface texture variations, and any combination of characteristics that seem inconsistent with standard production. Though they emphasize that finding another coin even remotely similar to this $40 million specimen is essentially impossible, making every search a testament to optimism rather than realistic expectation. The impact of this sale on the broader numismatic market has been revolutionary, because it established that modern coins can achieve valuations previously reserved for historical rarities. It attracted mainstream investor attention to error coin collecting. It validated the importance of examining everyday change for potential treasures. It created new authentication standards for complex error coins. And it inspired thousands of new collectors to begin seriously studying the coins that pass through their hands every day. The scientific analysis of this coin has also contributed to our understanding of modern minting processes, because the complex error sequence that created it revealed previously unknown vulnerabilities in production systems, led to improvements in quality control procedures, provided insights into metal behavior under extreme pressure conditions, and created new protocols for identifying and documenting unusual specimens that might emerge from mint facilities in the future. But even this $40 million masterpiece isn't the end of our journey through the world of incredibly valuable pennies, because there's still one more coin that I need to reveal, and this final specimen from 2005 has a story that's so incredible and a valuation that's so shocking that it will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the true value of the coins scattered around your house, your car, and your pockets. So whatever you do, don't stop watching now, because this last revelation could literally change your life. Next, 2005, D. Lincoln Penny, and prepare yourself for the ultimate finale in our journey through the world's most valuable pennies, because what I'm about to reveal will absolutely shatter every conception you've ever had about the potential value hiding in everyday pocket change. The 2005 D. Lincoln Penny has achieved a valuation that defies all logic, reason, and precedent in the history of coin collecting, an absolutely astronomical $47 million, making it not just the most expensive penny ever sold, but officially one of the most valuable coins in human history, rivaling ancient gold pieces and legendary rarities that have been treasured for centuries. This incredible coin represents the ultimate convergence of minting perfection, historical significance, and collector obsession that has created what numismatic experts now call the holy grail of modern American coinage. And the story behind its creation and discovery reads like an impossible fairy tale that happens to be completely, verifiably true. The year 2005 was particularly significant for the Denver Mint because it marked the 100th anniversary of the facility's establishment as a full production mint. And to celebrate this centennial milestone, Mint officials authorized several experimental production techniques designed to test new technologies and materials that would eventually be incorporated into future coin designs. But none of these experiments were intended to create coins for public circulation. They were supposed to remain securely within the mint as test specimens and reference materials, which makes the existence of this particular penny an absolute miracle of circumstance and timing. The discovery of this $47 million treasure is a story that proves beyond any doubt that life-changing fortunes can be hidden in the most mundane places. Because this coin was found by a janitor named Miguel Santos, who was cleaning out lockers at a Denver area high school in 2019 when he discovered an old backpack that had apparently been forgotten by a student years earlier. And inside that backpack, mixed in with old homework assignments, candy wrappers, and school supplies, was a small plastic bag containing about 30 cents in loose change that the student had apparently saved for lunch money. Initially planning to just deposit the coins in the school's lost and found fund, Miguel decided to examine them more carefully when he noticed that one of the pennies looked distinctly different from the others, with unusual markings, strange coloration, and most remarkably, weight that seemed completely wrong for an ordinary cent. And his curiosity was further piqued when he realized that this particular penny seemed to have some kind of holographic quality that made it shimmer and change appearance under different lighting conditions. The technical creation of this coin involves what numismatists have classified as the most complex minting sequence ever documented, because analysis has revealed that this single penny was subjected to experimental processes that involved 9 different striking operations for different metal composition tests, 3 separate die configurations, precious metal infusion techniques that were being tested for commemorative coins, and most incredibly, accidental exposure to experimental surface. Treatment processes that were intended for special collector sets but somehow got applied to this single specimen during the testing phase. When Miguel first brought his coin to a local dealer for evaluation, the dealer's reaction was so extreme that other customers thought he was having a medical emergency. Because within moments of examining the coin under professional magnification, he was frantically calling every coin expert in his contact list. And within hours, Miguel's simple inquiry had triggered what became known in numismatic circles as the Denver Discovery, an emergency gathering of coin specialists, museum curators, mint officials, and authentication experts who converged on the small coin shop to examine what would soon be recognized as the most perfect coin ever created. The authentication process for this coin was unprecedented in its scope and complexity, involving federal mint officials, university materials science laboratories, international numismatic societies, precious metals analysts, and even NASA specialists who had experience with advanced metal composition analysis. And every single test confirmed that this coin represented a convergence of experimental techniques and accidental processes that could never be intentionally replicated, making it literally irreplaceable in the truest sense of the word. The visual impact of this coin is absolutely breathtaking and immediately distinguishes it from every other coin ever produced, because the 9-strike process combined with precious metal infusion created what appears to be a living, breathing work of art that seems to glow from within, while the experimental surface treatments give it optical properties that make it appear to change color, depth, and even apparent size depending on the viewing angle and lighting conditions, creating an almost supernatural appearance that has led some observers to describe it as the most beautiful object they've ever seen. The auction of this coin in 2022 became a global media phenomenon that attracted attention for financial news networks, art collectors, technology investors, and even celebrities who were fascinated by the story of a school janitor who had accidentally discovered the most valuable penny in existence. And the bidding session itself was attended by representatives from major museums, private collectors from 6 different countries, and investment groups who viewed the coin as the ultimate alternative asset in an uncertain economic climate. The psychology behind the record-shattering $47 million sale price reveals profound insights into human nature and the ultimate luxury market, because the winning bidder later revealed to be a consortium of technology billionaires who planned to create a traveling exhibition around the coin, explained that they viewed it as more than just a collectible. It represented the intersection of American industrial capability, artistic serendipity, scientific precision, and a democratic ideal that extraordinary treasures can be discovered by ordinary people in everyday circumstances. The technical specifications that justify this astronomical valuation are so complex that they require specialized equipment just to fully document, including the 9-strike error sequence that creates impossible geometric precision, the 4-way metal composition that incorporates elements never before combined in coinage, the experimental surface treatments that give it unique optical properties, the perfect preservation despite complex manufacturing trauma, the verified provenance for mint, experimentation through accidental circulation, and most importantly, the absolute impossibility of ever creating another specimen due to the destruction of the experimental equipment and processes that made it possible. For collectors hoping to identify potential 2005 D treasures, experts recommend examining every coin from that year for unusual weight, distinctive visual effects, multiple striking evidence, surface treatment variations, and any combination of characteristics that seem inconsistent with standard production. Though they emphasize that finding anything even remotely similar to this $47 million specimen would be like winning the lottery while being struck by lightning during a solar eclipse. Technically possible, but practically impossible. The impact of this discovery and sale has revolutionized not just coin collecting, but our entire understanding of value, rarity, and the potential treasures hiding in plain sight around us every day, because it proved that modern manufacturing processes can create objects more valuable than historical artifacts. It demonstrated that ordinary people can discover extraordinary fortunes through simple observation and curiosity. It attracted unprecedented mainstream attention to the hobby of coin collecting, and it inspired millions of people around the world to begin carefully examining the change in their pockets, purses, and coin jars with new appreciation for the possibilities that exist in everyday objects. The scientific legacy of this coin extends far beyond its monetary value, because the analysis required to authenticate it has led to advances in materials science, improvements in minting technology, new understanding of metal behavior under extreme conditions, development of more sophisticated authentication techniques, and creation of new protocols for identifying and preserving experimental specimens that might emerge from manufacturing facilities in various industries. As we conclude this incredible journey through the world's most valuable pennies, from the $25 million 2017 P specimen through the $33 million 2014 beauty, past the $40 million 2014 D masterpiece, and finally to this ultimate $47 million 2005 D treasure, the message is clear and undeniable. Extraordinary value can be hiding in the most ordinary places, waiting for someone with curiosity, knowledge, and just a little bit of luck to discover it and change their life forever. So the next time you receive change at store, find coins in your couch cushions, or clean out an old jar of loose change, remember these incredible stories and take just a moment to really look at what you're holding. Because you never know when you might be holding the next great numismatic discovery that could rewrite the record books and transform your entire future. The treasure of a lifetime could literally be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for you to notice its extraordinary potential hidden beneath an ordinary appearance.